Hey, shalom, shalom, lamacha, Israelite. Shalom, brother. Boy, I think I got everything set up. Precepts there, articles. Right, first, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Baharakat Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Shalom to you brothers out there that's teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And of course, shalom to you brothers and sisters out there that's listening and learning and supporting the ministry. Hold on, let me switch it up there. Because I can't, in the chat, I can't see. I'm sure that was supposed to be. That's strange. Right. I'm sure this brother's supposed to be moderator. All right, okay. Hey, shalom, brother. Anyway, yeah. So we're gonna go into the whole CBDCs again as pertaining to the MOTB. You know, the mark of the you know what, and just some information that I've come across which further shows, the agenda is these devils, man. They're determined to fulfill prophecy in their own hubris. All right. Ah, that's what it is. All right, yeah. All right, cool. How do I? How did I make people? How do you do it again? Uh, you know what? I can't even remember where how you make people moderators again. Goodness gracious, this is terrible. Um, I'm sure you just click on it. All right. If anything goes wrong, I'll have to stop and figure that out because I'm not sure how you add moderators again. I think it's something to do with the settings, right? Let's see if I can. I'm sure you just click and it just does it like that. Anyway, if it becomes an issue, I'll just do that. But anyway, yeah. So I got a few articles here, a few scriptures, and we're just gonna go through and we're gonna show how Esau, Edom, beginning with the elites, everything is going according to what they want to push these CBDCs on the people, man. They got the Bitcoin scam guy nice and well doing his part. So let's get right into it. And hopefully I'll sort out this moderator thing another time. Right, so first and foremost, let's get this precept right here. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Now, one of the devices of Satan is to try and get us to take that mark of the beast, the mark of what. Now, we have to know what it is in order to resist against it. So the Lord is going to reveal that secret unto his prophets. Okay, and he has revealed it. And through the apostles and elders, they taught us that the implantable RFID chip is the mark of the beast. And through diligent research, we can see how the infrastructure for such a thing is being set up before our very eyes. But then you got these other Israelite groups like ISUPK and IUIC who teach against the microchip being the mark of the beast. Mainly, personally, I believe that's because they've been told to not teach that by the Jesuits, and so they're coming with this weirdo, goofy breakdown about how the mark of the what is Christianity and sin, and all this madness. And it's like whenever they come up against us, they don't even get the facts straight. Like at one time, Nate got up there in front of his congregation and told them that RFID is only for finding your dog. It can't be used for payments. But over here in the UK, damn near everybody uses RFID enabled chips using contactless payments every day. So obviously he's deceiving the people and allowing them to be ignorant. And that's why a lot of people are gonna be caught out there when this thing gets made mandatory. All right. So I want to bounce. Hey, shalom, shalom. I want to bounce straight into this article. Now I don't know if you saw this, right, but you got Amazon definitely lining up Bitcoin payments and token confirms insider. Now, anyone that has any basic understanding of what Bitcoin is, the technology, and what it's capable, would know that of all the cryptocurrencies to pick to receive as a payment, Bitcoin is the last one. It's just horrible as a payment, coin. But the reason they're pushing that, Amazon is pushing that, is there's an agenda right now to portray Bitcoin as a threat to the current system. And that's why you see Elon Musk coming out and shilling the hell out of Bitcoin, even though he's a payments guy and there are tokens which are much more appropriate towards the payment side of things. He's still shilling Bitcoin, shilling Dogecoin. Now you got this guy, Jeff Bezos, through Amazon, shilling Bitcoin again, right? So it says Amazon is looking to accept Bitcoin payments by the end of the year, all right? And it's investigating its own token for 2022, says Insider. Now that's funny because the ISO 20022 international standard for the payment messaging system, that's supposed to be coming online in 2022. Yet these guys are not mentioning any of those tokens, and it's for a reason. The internet behemoth set tongues wagging over the weekend after publishing a job advertisement for a cryptocurrency and blockchain lead. The vacancy clearly a signal the company is laying down a pathway towards cryptocurrency transactions. Yeah. Calls for someone who can leverage domain expertise in blockchain, distributed ledger, central bank digital currencies, and cryptocurrency. So you see, on one hand, they're signaling the Bitcoin, yeah? On one hand, they're signaling Bitcoin. They're putting Bitcoin in your face. Bitcoin. A lot of people don't even know blockchain is a technology. They just know Bitcoin. They think blockchain is Bitcoin. And that's been done on purpose, right? So you're looking at Bitcoin like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's a threat. Bitcoin is the end thing. But when you go deeper into it, what did it say? Calls for someone who can leverage domain expertise in blockchain, distributed ledger, central bank digital currencies, and cryptocurrency. So ultimately, they're not preparing for Bitcoin. That's foolishness. Bitcoin is rubbish, okay? A big company like Amazon would know that Bitcoin can't even scale. It's horrible. It's expensive to use. It's slow. It's useless when it comes to peer-to-peer payments or any form of payments like that, especially when you're dealing with business, right? The settlement time is ridiculous, right? So what are they really preparing for? They're preparing for these central bank digital currencies, okay? It says, let's get straight to the point. It says here, it begins with Bitcoin. Yeah, apparently. This is the key first stage of this crypto project, and the directive is coming from the very top, Jeff Bezos himself. So they got Jeff Bezos and they got Elon Musk shilling Bitcoin, right? Meanwhile, what they're really preparing for is the central bank digital currencies, which is going to be at the heart of the mark of the you-know-what, programmable money, okay? Says the insider also explained that directors of the world's fourth largest company were keen to move towards ticking off other big cryptocurrencies once it had established a fast and secure method of Bitcoin payment. Brother, how are you going to establish a fast and secure method of Bitcoin payment? Is these guys all right? And that just shows you this is all a farce. Trust me, it will never happen. They're never, ever going to accept Bitcoin. This is just there to muddy the waters and to throw Bitcoin out there as a threat to the system. Is that they're gonna go straight to the ISO 20022 coins and the CBDCs, 100% guaranteed. And then he mentions these other cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, okay, which again, Ethereum's got too much going on. Cardano, which is another smart contracts platform, and Bitcoin Cash will be next in line before they bring about 8 of the most popular cryptocurrencies online. Okay. It won't take long because the plans are already there and they have been working on them since 2019. Now, what happened in 2019? They signaled the what? The Great Reset. Yeah. That's, because they knew they were getting ready for the, the thing that shall not be mentioned, which was going to trigger a lot of this stuff coming down the line. But they've been preparing for this for the longest. All right. It says ready to roll. The entire project is pretty much ready to roll. It is likely that the involvement of a massive player on the scale of Amazon in the cryptocurrency space would advance adoption and the price of Bitcoin and the larger altcoins, but it is Bezos' next plan which could cause even greater intrigue. When all these crypto ducks are lined up, there's another twist to push things even further into Amazon favor, a native token, so Amazon coin or whatever it's going to be. After a year of experiencing cryptocurrency as a way of making payments for goods, it is looking increasingly possible that we're heading towards tokenization. This then becomes a multi-level infrastructure where you can pay for goods and services or earn tokens in a loyalty scheme. Okay, the brother Muck, the general says, I heard the central banks are going to ban independent cryptocurrencies and put forward their own as a part of the Control B system. Not so much ban, but regulate. So a lot of cryptocurrencies, once they bring regulations, are gonna disappear. They do have cryptocurrencies that basically, because not all cryptocurrencies are used for payments. All right, there's different. It's a blockchain. It's a technology. So when you're talking, you have certain cryptocurrencies which are going to be incorporated into the new financial system. That's your ISO 20022 standard coins, which will be used in the interoperability and used for liquidity and cross-border payments and those kind of things. But the CBDCs will be the head. They'll be like the new form of stable coin. They'll be at the head of the whole system, and Bitcoin will be at zero because there's going to be no need for it. All right, as you're going to see. Was that all that I highlighted from there? Right. So yeah. So this what came out the other day is part of that whole thing about pushing Bitcoin out there into the forefront as a threat. Okay. So let's get another precept here because it mentioned paying for goods. Right. Revelations 13 and 16, and he calls it all. Right, this is going to be the governments, right? Only the governments, the power structure, has the power to cause everyone within a society to do something. All right, and he calls it all, both small and great, right, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, right, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. Right now, that's where Mr. Club. Before we move on, let me get. Where is it? Fourth Industrial Revolution, what it means, and let's get straight to the point. Your boy Klaus. Right. Your boy Klaus. He said, the first industrial revolution used water and steam power to mechanize production. The second used electric power to create mass production. The third used electronics and information technology to automate production. Now a fourth industrial revolution is building on the third, the digital revolution that has been occurring since the middle of the last century. It is characterized by a fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. So what's going to happen is when they launch these CBDCs and these CBDC blockchains, and then they incorporate the rest of society onto various different blockchains for interoperability and automation and smart contract purposes, in order to tie you into that system, you're going to have to receive that mark, that chip. And that's going to basically tokenize you in a way. It's going to digitize you. It's going to allow you to interact with the digital world. All right. So let me show you what's going on here. Earlier, where was that? July the 24th, right? This article came out in the Daily Mail. It says Bitcoin, the Bitcoin revolution. Rishi Sunak, right? It's Elamite that they got. A bit like Kublai Khan, they got Elamite all up in the treasury. Rishi Sunak plans to introduce official digital currency to rival cash in biggest upheaval in the monetary system for centuries. Now, people might say, well, you already have digital currency. No, you have digital forms of cash. But the digital currency they're talking about is a new currency which is completely digital and has new features that the old one doesn't have. Right now, the old one is just ones, and it's just like you 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. You can't really do nothing with it. You add and take away on a basic software ledger. This new type of money is a whole different kettle of fish, a whole different form of oppression. Right? It's going to allow them to control what you buy and what you sell, if you can buy and if you can sell, which is the prophecy. So let's go. It says official digital currency to rival cash in biggest upheaval in the monetary system for centuries. You see that? The biggest upheaval in the monetary system for centuries. Bullet points. The Bank of England would establish a direct digital equivalent to physical money. Okay, so you got pound sterling at the moment, which is supposed to be cash, and then you have digitized version of that cash, which is created by mainly commercial banks, fractional reserve banking, which they're gonna, by the way, they're gonna expose all that themselves and say, oh, you know what, the system's falling apart because we allowed all these commercial banks to fractional reserve banking, and now it's causing inflation. So you know what? We're gonna have a new system where you can't do that anymore. Listen, they already got the playbook written down, and they're gonna make the CBDC look like it's good. It's like coming up against the old system, and it's a new system that's gonna be more fair and environmentally friendly, and which is not gonna be any of that. But they already got it set up. Says the Bank of England would establish a direct digital equivalent to physical money. Supporters say the move will give the economy a boost during a financial crisis, or the ABKO, could slash costs and time it makes to make payments online and transfer money, right? Because all the money will be digital. And in terms of cross-border payments, like I said, they've already got the ISO 20022 ecosystem set up with Ripple XRP, Zinfin XDC, Algorand. Who else is signed up with that? Quant, QNT. Who else is there? XLM, Stellar, Lumens, and they've already got them set up for this new global payment system, so that money can travel basically like how email travels. Because right now, the way the world works, money moves quite slowly around the world because it's still using old world systems. The new system is basically set up that money, or value as they say, travels as fast as information does, and they call it the internet of value. So you got the internet of things, the internet of bodies, all that business. Now you have the internet of value. So money or value can travel around the world in milliseconds, as opposed to now where you got to wait 3-4 days. You know, you use Western Union, it's a madness. Yeah, 2-3 days for your money to settle. So that's one of the reasons that they're going to say they want to do it. Cash in people's pockets would be superseded by a new Bitcoin digital currency in a plan being pushed by Chancellor Rishi Sunak. So in that kind of system, yeah, the cash will basically become what's the word? Irrelevant. It would become obsolete. In what Treasury insiders say would be the biggest upheaval in the monetary system for centuries, the Bank of England would establish a direct digital equivalent to physical money and take control of it in the same way as sterling. Okay. All right. Which money is supposed to be physical? You know, real money, according to the Bible, is tangible goods, commodities. You know, its supporters in the Treasury say that it would allow the bank to give the economy a boost in times of financial crisis. So they're going to use financial crisis as a reason. They're going to use inflation as a reason by paying the Bitcoins directly into people's bank accounts. All right. So you'll receive your stimulus or you'll receive your universal basic income directly from the central bank. Or there is ways they could do it where they can still use these commercial banks and kind of have the commercial banks issue the tokens from their own side chain or whatever. But that's a whole technical thing. But ultimately, the central bank will be in control. They're proper selling it right in this article. Now, like I said, that article I brought you about Amazon, Bitcoin and all that stuff, right? Like I said, the reason they're pushing all that Bitcoin garbage is because they want to use Bitcoin as the reason why they're doing this when they already knew this is what they wanted to do from before they even released Bitcoin. Bitcoin was released for this exact purpose, right? It was released as a beta product, a beta currency. So let's read. This is there are also fears the introduction of Bitcoin would lead to a higher loan and mortgage rates as millions of people switch cash to central bank digital currency, right? Eating into the amount of money high street banks have on deposit to lend to borrowers, right? But once they start hyperinflating the currency, ain't nobody going to be worrying about that. They're going to be dying to give up that cash that's been hyperinflated for the new currency. That's what it's all about. People are going to be dying to do that. It says the Treasury is understood to be more keen than the Bank of England on the idea of creating an official British digital currency to compete with the rise of Bitcoin. You see? So they're using the rise of Bitcoin, which they have manipulated, as a reason as to why they have to now bring in this CBDC, because Bitcoin is threatening the system as it is, which is all bullshit, because Bitcoin has been manipulated into the position it's in through Tether and all that. It ain't even worth what it's saying it's worth now. It's complete manipulation. And as soon as they want to, they can pull the rug from underneath that. All right. British digital currency to compete with the rise of Bitcoin because they are wary of the huge numbers of people piling into cryptocurrencies. Some investors have lost vast sums as the price of Bitcoin has gyrated wildly. And who do you think is behind all that? Who do you think is behind the scenes manipulating the volatility of Bitcoin? Come on. You know, on the plans being considered by officials, consumers might be able to hold the currency in accounts directly linked to the Bank of England. Officials are undecided on whether to attach interest rates to Bitcoin, which might make it attractive to savers as an alternative to cash. Retailers and other companies could accept the digital currency for ordinary payments that the customers would otherwise have made with a debit or credit cards. So this new digital currency, all right, this new CBDC will be accepted just the same way how you use a debit or credit card. Just this time, you're gonna have this. It's gonna be all on a chip, right? And you can manage it through your phone. But the amount of money each individual could hold in Bitcoin is likely to be limited initially. Oh, you're damn right, it's going to be limited. Crucially, consumers would be able to change pound sterling into Bitcoin with ease. And like I said, they're gonna make it where everyone is gonna do that because they're gonna hyperinflate the sterling anyway. It would also be made very simple and very fast to transfer Bitcoin back into ordinary cash that could be taken out of an ATM. Listen, that ain't gonna listen. Don't listen to that. That's just them trying to. They're trying to sell it to these people and then trying to make it look like, yeah, but you know, if you still want to do things the old way, you'll still be able to. No, they won't. Once they start the inflation and the hyperinflation, people ain't gonna want to have cash anyway because it ain't gonna be worth nothing. You understand? They're gonna be dying to get some of this Bitcoin, to get that mark of the beast, right? That might help avoid the type of long queues that occurred when thousands tried to get their money out of Northern Rock in 2007. Well, you're going to see a lot of people trying to get their money into Northern Rock to get themselves some of this Bitcoin. You see me? That's what they're going to do. A digital currency where customers have accounts directly linked to the Bank of England will also make it far easier to issue so-called helicopter money, where funds are injected into people's pockets by the government. This could prove a more effective way of stimulating the economy in times of crisis, which they're going to create, than quantitative easing. Okay? What's the next one? And this is just the article showing you ever since 2015 to 18, the Bank of England have been working on these settlement systems. But let's get rid of these articles and get another scripture up here. See, Esau ain't gonna come out and tell you, look, we've been planning these CBDCs for the longest while. We set up, Bitcoin, as a beta test, and we're gonna use these these blockchains to lock you down and put you in captivity, right? This is Psalm 64 and 2. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? So this whole cryptocurrency blockchain thing has been a snare from the very beginning. It's a trap, and they're walking the people into the trap, and they're gonna make it look like this is not something that they wanted to do, but they have to do it to help and to protect the people from Bitcoin. And the people, like fools, are gonna accept it, not knowing the truth behind what these CBDCs can do and what they're designed for. All right, and that's why it says they they commune of laying snares privily, because behind closed doors, all these central banks, the BIS, the IMF, Visa, MasterCard, they've been working behind the scenes building this new system. They all know what's coming. They all know. It's just the people they haven't told yet. And then now they're trying to sell it to them. Every two days, central bank digital currencies are in the news. It's because they're ready to roll it out. Okay? But what's going to come with that central bank digital currency is a microchip. All right? And that's going to become the new legal tender. And cash is going to be done away with. All right? And so you ain't going to be able to buy or sell unless you're using their CBDCs and the chip that comes with it. And they're going to use that to control all the resources and everything what's going on out here. That's what it is. It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, right? You go into the history of Bitcoin or Nakatoshi, Nakamoto and all that. Nah, man. David Schwartz and a bunch of guys at the NSA made Bitcoin. And after they made Bitcoin, with all the frailties that it possesses, and sold it to a bunch of idiots, they then created XRP and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, yeah, the information is out there, They encourage themselves, so they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Okay, so here's another article here. This article says countries representing over 90% of the global GDP are exploring CBDCs. Exploring. Okay. So I'm sure I had this thing marked out. So they got certain countries in the world that's already issuing these things. The quest to understand the opportunities and challenges of a central bank digital currency, or CBDC, is underway in 81 countries, with 5 nations fully implementing a digital version of their currency, according to a new tracker from the Atlantic Council. The Caribbean region is home to all 5 CBDCs that are currently in use, with the Bahamas, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Lucia and Grenada all implementing their digital cash systems. CBDCs are in their pilot stage in 14 other countries, including South Korea and Sweden, the tracker shows. Right, and I think China is the biggest one that's going full steam ahead. Yeah, that was the point on that article. Yeah, but now I've got this article here. Let's read this scripture, man. Job 15:35 says, they conceive mischief, bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceits. So when we read that Daily Mail article, they never mentioned nothing about how the money is programmable and what that would mean and what it is that the central bank would be able to do with that, because they ain't going to tell you the truth. So let's read this article and understand what it is. It is programmable money. That's what they should call it. Programmable money, meaning the money that they're going to give you is going to be programmed by them to do what they want it to do. You ain't going to be in control of your own money. How crazy is that? Programmable money. Your money's been brainwashed. Right, so let's read a few bits out of this article, right? Programmable money, part 1, the summary. Right. So programmable money, like CBDCs, is one of the technologies to have emerged from blockchain. In fact, its origins in the trustless promise of primitive blockchain are not hard to discern. It is, in essence, tokenized cash controlled by a smart contract rather than a bank or central bank. But if the central bank or bank is the one setting the smart contract, then obviously they're the ones that control it. Goodness gracious. Anyway, programmable money is best understood as a conditional form of payment. What is new is smart contracts, the self-executing code that actualizes the conditions associated with particular payments. They include linking payments to the delivery or provenance of goods, automatic restocking, payment of energy bills according to consumption, the smart meters, and remittance of indirect taxes at the point of sale. It is also speculated that programmable money could reduce the cost of cross-currency payments by circumventing correspondent banks through direct connection of national payment systems. Now, making a CBDC programmable has some advantages. It would enhance the financial inclusion by facilitating direct payments to individuals and make it easier to inflate, and deflate the economy. Now, what's one of the biggest things that all of a sudden everybody seems to know about? Inflation, right? All of a sudden, when they want everybody to know about inflation, everybody knows about inflation. Everyone's Googling inflation. So when they hyperinflate the currency because they printed a whole bag of it out of control, they're going to use that as a reason why, oh, well, you know what? If we had a CBDC instead of the dollar, then we could more easily control inflation and deflation. So you know what? Let's just get rid of the dollar and we're going to have the dollar coin and we can control that. You know, we won't need all that fractional reserve banking no more. It says, however, A programmable CBDC would also alter the prevailing division of labor between central banks and commercial banks and raise profound questions about privacy and liberty. Don't worry about that. That's going to be brushed over. A programmable CBDC could, for example, give central banks control over the provision of credit and equity capital. Now, listen to this, Arkham. Listen very closely to what this money can do, which they never mentioned in the Daily Mail article, and they won't mention. But this is what it means. The means to punish, the means to punish and reward different types of social behavior and the power to exclude citizens from the participation in the economy at all. Let me read it again. What this money, the new money that they're about to roll out, can do. What power does it give to the central bank? The means to punish and reward different types of social behavior and the power to exclude citizens from participation in the economy at all. To exclude citizens from participation in the economy at all. Revelations 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you are going to have that microchip with your digital identity and your digital wallet in order to buy and sell within the society. And then even then, if you go against the grain, if you don't have your machinations in check, if you say the wrong thing and your Google phone picks it up, if you post the wrong thing on the internet, if you sneeze the wrong way, if you fart too much, if you have sex with your wife, they can automatically deduct money out your account or freeze your account or stop you from being able to buy certain products. This is what the programmable money can do. Right? And this is what they want it to do. This is the whole point talking about Bitcoin. It ain't got nothing to do with Bitcoin. They want programmable money so they can control the masses. That's what it's all about. Satan. Yeah? Let's read it again. And this is, you see, this is why we told you, man, listen, you can't, listen, we're going to tell you straight up, man, the Lord ain't dealing with ISUPK and it ain't dealing with IUIC. Them guys, they're not warning the people and telling the people about these things. We're telling you, look, this is what they're doing. And in order to tie you into that system, they're going to be giving you, because there's something called the Internet of Bodies. Go look it up. The Internet of Bodies allows for your biological information to be incorporated into the system. Your heart monitors and all smart watches and all that. The chip. Yeah? Yeah, the Chinese credit score system. And they're bringing that over here to the UK. You see, because the Chinese are basically trial running what they ultimately want to do. And I've got an article on that too. See, I've done all kind of research. We're gonna bring it out. Now listen to this. In the long term, the number of cryptocurrencies is likely to be reduced to a smaller number of programmable private commodities. These will coexist alongside programmable CBDCs. Let's translate that. Right now, there are thousands upon thousands of cryptocurrencies. 99% of them are going to be regulated out of existence. The only cryptocurrencies that are going to survive are the blockchains which have a real world use within the New World Order and their system. For instance, something like VeChain, which is designed to be used within the realms of supply chain management. And through interoperability, it would be able to then be used alongside the CBDC. So for instance, that way they can pre-program your money as to what you can and can't buy, and according to a specific amount. And they'll be able to track that using interoperability through a blockchain like VeChain that's dealing with the supply chain and the resource amount. This is exactly what they're doing, man. This is exactly what they're doing. This infrastructure is being built right before our very eyes, man. Okay, I'm gonna show you. I got some articles on it. So then there's two things with these CBDCs. You got interoperability, which you could look that up, which allows for various blockchains to interoperate between each other. So these CBDC blockchains are going to interoperate between other blockchains, which are going to be utilized within the society, beginning with what? Your let me not say that. Your vaccination certificate. Okay. And then you got something called an oracle. And the purpose of an oracle is a third-party service that provides smart contracts with information from the outside world. It is the layer that queries, verifies, and authenticates external data sources using via trusted APIs and then relays that information. So they already got the whole ecosystem planned out. You got oracles, you got interoperability, different blockchains that will link together. But the main blockchains right now, Bitcoin is the number one chain. They're going to replace that. They're going to bring it in where these CBDCs are going to be at the center of a whole blockchain ecosystem, smart city type system, which is running everything with automation and AI and machine learning. This is what they're doing, man. Now, I got an article on I'll get the China one in a minute. Oh yeah, this is just one I showed with the Bank of International Settlements. They were showing all the different countries that are dealing with these CBDCs. Okay, the penny's gonna drop sooner or later, but I want to get this is what we want, right? Remember, they're using this vaccination thing to promote this fourth industrial thing, which is all gonna lead. All roads are going to lead towards the mark of the beast being made mandatory as a solution for all these crises, the technological solution for all these problems that they have created. Okay, so that they can try and achieve their enterprise. In fact, let's get that real quick. But you see, just real quick before we carry on, you might say to yourself, well, what are we going to do? We ain't going to worry about nothing. We just have to resist, and the Lord is going to take care of the rest. Right? People are going to say, oh, well, how are we going to eat? Listen, the Bible tells you that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. That's all you need to worry about. Esau thinks this is his planet. He thinks he's got everything under his control. That's his belief. But that ain't the case. This is Job 5:12, because it says, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So they're not gonna chip the elect. The elect have been bought with a price. The elect belong to Yahweh Shai. Point blank. Period. So Lord willing, I'm one of the elect. The elect have been redeemed by the Lord out of the hand of this man. So the Lord is going to take care of his elect, man. And he's going to disappoint this man in his craziness that he's trying to do. But he's doing it. You best believe all this. Look, all this technology that you see is all designed to work together. The cloud computing, the cloud storage, the machine learning, the quantum computing, is all the blockchain. It's all designed to come together to enable the mark of the thing system and the mark of the thing. That's why I have to start calling it the mark of the thing. Yeah. So in fact, actually, before I touch on the vaccine, I think there was a little bit down here that I wanted to pull out. Right. All right. Before I get to the vaccine certificate, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this. And I'm going to drop a video from Hugo. Where's Hugo Talks? Let me get the Hugo Talks, because let me get Hugo Talks. And you notice there ain't a lot of people talking about CBDCs in a negative light on YouTube. YouTube has been neutered, man. Goodness gracious. Back in the day, YouTube was where all the conspiracy was. That is done.
Me, I'm a 25 years.
You can't get not even a bit of conspiracy on YouTube anymore. Not even a. You struggling out here. Like YouTube used to be the spot. They sanitize YouTube differently. No one ain't talking negative about none of these agendas. It's crazy. It's crazy. Right. So I'm gonna big up my man Hugo. He gonna go into a little bit. So we're gonna watch that. Let me just finish up this one because there was some bits here. So it says under programmable CBDC also has its disadvantages, which they'll never mention in the news. It says, but a CBDC that was programmable could also be used for more sinister reasons. It could, for example, reward good behavior and punish bad behavior by citizens. It could even exclude individuals from participating in the economy at all. The social credit system in China is anomalous, so it represents a threat to personal privacy and civil liberty. However, this outcome is not specific to programmable money. All non-cash transactions are electronic already. The only difference between the police investigating transactions in a tyranny and a democracy is that the police in a democracy operated to the rule of law, must obtain a warrant, blah, 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 blah. But there is a difference. Do I need to read this bit? Yeah, so basically what your local bank does is going to change. They're going to change the whole system. It says both interbank payments and securities transactions, for example, are settled in central bank money already, and a CBDC is likely to expand the range of activities that settle in a central bank money. As a result, the range of activities open to commercial banks once a CBDC is in issue will be narrower. And these commercial banks are on their way out anyway. That system is old. They're not going to need as many of these commercial banks. So a lot of these commercial banks are going to be liquidated any damn way because it's a vestige of an old system. A CBDC which disintermediated commercial banks from providing accounts and dominated the provision of credit raises profound question about the distribution of power in society. President Andrew Jackson closed the Central Bank of the United States in 1833, for example, because it refused to make advances to its political allies. Yeah. So, of course, it's all about centralization of power. Yeah, BitU is hard, yeah, but it's hard to search, man. BitU is hard to search through. Goodness gracious. You know, but it is what it is. Now, let's move on to... Right. This one says, is blockchain the answer to that thing? Max passports. As the thing, Max, become more widespread, critical questions arise around providing proof of, blockchain or open source digital ledger technologies could offer a secure solution. Oh, really? Let's just get straight to it. However, a mobile app-based certification system by itself is incomplete and will prove to be ineffective on a global scale. As much of the world's population still doesn't own a smartphone. To be honest, it might not even work on a national level here in the US, which is technologically dense, simply because not all administration sites are set up to certify it using a mobile app. Many Americans still receive a physical certificate as their only proof of inoculation, but handwritten, paper-based documentation is often eligible or illegible or incorrect. It is also easy to lose and counterfeit. What's the solution? That's why the public and private sectors must work together to create a single standardized verification system framework more akin to the traditional passport data exchange that border agents, airlines, hotels, educators, and others trust to be authentic and true. However, it must be based on a globally accepted and adopted interoperability standards if we are to restore both regional economies and the global travel and tourism industry, which employs 330 million and contributed 10.3% of the global GDP before the thing. Right. So these are some of the things that it needs to be able to do. For all parties, which authority issued the person's blah, 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 blah. The credential is being presented by the person who was issued. The credential is authentic. The credential has been revoked. That's why we must bring blockchain and digital ledger technologies to the forefront of every verification system framework. Properly done, digital ledgers cannot be falsified and can reliably prove that a person has been right. Several governments around the world have already been actively exploring blockchain and DLT for the certification. Both technologies are used in support of border trade to verify shipment information. I told you. And by supply chains to increase accountability. This application isn't much different in principle. However, DLT offers a unique advantage over blockchain and every other type of digital record system in that it's built around open source technology, completely decentralized and dependent on a cryptographically secure trust protocol between authorities, organizations, and individuals to prevent unauthorized access to stored patient data. In other words, a DLT-based framework is key to developing the scalable, efficient, and tamper-proof global electronic record system we need to share extensive patient vaccination data in a way that optimizes intensive privacy protection. Now, is this already happening? Yes. Where's my article with IBM? Is this it? Here we go. So Maxine, well, that's the same article, isn't it? Oh, it's a different article. Okay. See what this one had it in. All right, this is basically gonna say pretty much the same thing, but I want. Where's my? Get rid of that. Where's my article on IBM? I must have. Hold on 1 second. I'll find it. IBM. There we go. Oh yeah, this article, but it's so hard to read. Hold on. Right, so the headline says more than 450 airlines can now use IBM's blockchain-based Maxine passport. Okay, so you get the point. They're already moving over to that. So then they can link that up with the mark of the beast and all that. Okay, they can link it all up. So let's listen to this guy and get some more precepts. This is what's happening in the UK right now. And you see how they're making it where you can't go certain place and do certain things. You can't go to certain events and all that. It's all part of it. They're prepping the people.
Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. So there's been loads of protests all over the world today. I'm going to do a video tomorrow about them, and hopefully I'll make a video later on about the London one today. There was loads of people speaking at it. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. But first, I wanted to talk about this announcement that came out today. Here we have in the Telegraph. Now, I've been warning about the app, the NHS app, how it's going to be used as a jab passport, which they've now announced, but also as a digital ID, which they announced last week. It's going to track you 24/7, a digital prison. It's going to shut you out and cut off your access to services if you don't obey and do as you're told. The plan is for a cashless society that will also be tied into this app. And then if you allow yourself to be caught in this digital prison, they will control your behavior and what you do, what you buy, how you live, how much energy you use, etc., with a social credit system. That's what I've been saying up until today. I've always said this was the plan. And lo and behold, as if by magic, today we've seen this announcement. This is the first mention of this. It says here, families could get rewards for healthy living in a new war on obesity. And it says here, UK puppet tyrant Boris Johnson is to launch a government-backed rewards program for families switching to healthier foods and exercising under radical plans to tackle Britain's obesity crisis. You notice what they're saying here. You notice it is all focused on healthy eating and on making people healthier. You know, it's for your own good. Of course, there's no mention of energy consumption, of energy measuring and carbon zero, which is what this is to be used for, okay? It will be used to determine how much energy you use, and if you don't use too much, you'll get a reward. But if you use too much, you'll get a penalty. Maybe you'll end up paying higher rates if you use too much energy, if you boil the kettle too many times. That's the idea. Anyhow, it continues in the article. The scheme will monitor family supermarket spending, rewarding those who reduce their calorie intake and buy more fruit and vegetables. And you can guarantee they will penalize you for buying meat and reward you for buying insects in the future, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to stop eating meat. Oh, and it says you can get more points if you walk to work, okay, and not use public transport. It continues, under the new plan, loyalty points accumulated would be exchanged for discounts, free tickets, and other incentives. Basically, giving you little treats like you're a little dog in order to train you to do whatever they want you to do. So this is the social credit system I've been warning you about. You remember I talked about this in the dark future of the jab passport video way back last year, and you can guarantee this will be implemented into the NHS app. That's the idea. So look, it's time to ditch these phones. Now I was watching the London.
Right, and it's like I said, it's all gonna be filtered through the mark of the thing, which is gonna be implantable, and on there is gonna be all connected through your CBDC, man. All right. This is what's happening. Okay. We read it earlier, didn't we? Programmable money, what they can do with it. You see how it's all linking up together? It's prophecy, man. You know, that's why you got to stay awake, man. We're in that time, right, where these things are going to come to pass. This man, the Lord has put the spirit on this man to fulfill his word, man. In fact, before I even get that, let's get Isaiah. Everything happens according to prophecy. Everything happens, everything that's manifesting in the world today, from the earthquakes and the floods, hell, even the transgenders and all, everything that's happening is prophecy. Didn't the scripture speak about them waxing worse and worse? Even the wickedness that's happening in the world today is a manifestation of prophecy. The scoffers and scorners, when the scoffers and scorners come up against us, it's a manifestation of the word of the Heavenly Father. Okay, that's why, you know, we don't get bugged out. There's nothing out of the ordinary happening. What's happening is what's supposed to be happening, whether it be on the left or whether it be on the right. This is Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it will prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. All right. For ye shall go out with all right, that's the point on that, right? Even down to the World War III, you see the Lord is going to put the spirit on these nations to do what they got to do. The Lord has already put the spirit on them to amass these weapons of destruction. And you see, just today, there was a situation with Russia and Britain again. And the situation is going to continue until eventually war breaks out between Russia and America, because it's prophecy. All right, so we're always on the lookout and for the mark of the beast, and the mark of the beast, they're gonna bring it through as a solution to multiple crises that they're gonna institute. Hyperinflation, you got cyber attack. Okay, you got a lot of crises that they're gonna bring down the pipeline, and they're gonna spring it on the people. Look, man, we got all this hell breaking loose. Okay, we have the technology to fix this. You know, we didn't want to have to bring this, but we're gonna have to do it. You know, we're gonna have to bring in. Everyone's gonna have to get this thing, the mark of the beast, and we're gonna have to bring out these CBDCs. Now, you might find that they roll out the CBDCs first, and then it might exist for a while alongside cash, but then eventually they're just gonna do away with the cash and then just give you your ID, your international ID, which is gonna be attached to your mark, man. Right? And they already got these people used to go into centers to receive their injection. It's the same way they're gonna be going into these places to get the thing, because it's all a syringe. All right, it's coming, man. It seems crazy right now, but making everybody wear a mask would have been crazy 3 years ago. But you got people wearing it in their car now. Oh man, you got people wearing it in their car. They don't take much. All it takes is a crisis, and we told you this. We told you this from a long time, that all it takes is a crisis. And Esau, the larger the crisis, the more he can do. Let's see if we can get.
If you're interested in learning my system,
You know, probably somewhere like
trading the currency
Sweden,
markets, I'm going to give you.
probably want to be some of the first places that you're going to see.
When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID. And he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
You like to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
His keys, his ID, and his wallet. That wallet is going to be your CBDCs, man. And all that is going to be run through blockchain. I mean, what more can we say, man? It is what it is. You can see it right there in front of you. If you can't see it, then I don't know what to say to you. I really don't know what to say to you.
Microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all on chip, so I use it like
ID and his wallet. That serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet. That serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all on chip, so I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks. So I can't open it.
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip. I need to log me in.
See, she can't open it because she ain't got a Chizap. If she had a Chizap, she could open it, but she ain't got one of them Chizaps. So she's locked out the system.
And from there, I get access to the fridge.
Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future.
Install in-grain procedure with local anesthetic and you're good to go.
In Sweden, the microchips are already here,
The microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards.
which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden.
No cash.
At this tech fair, a chipping event for those on the cutting edge, merging their hands with this new technology.
I thought it would be fun, right?
The process is simple and swift. A pinch of the skin, and in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete. As for the pain,
I barely felt it.
but even in this nation of
Man, you're gonna feel. Trust me, you're gonna feel it.
early adopters, not everyone is racing to get chipped.
Feel less human. I will feel like a robot.
I think, so much more data can go into this, when it's in your body.
There's no central registry.
Now, for you Israelites, why you might say, well, why not take this? Well, first of all, when you take that, you're joining yourself onto the enemy, right? You're worshiping the enemy. So you're breaking the first commandment, but even thinking about taking it, you're worshiping the beast, right? Now, Exodus 20 and 1, let's read from the top. And God spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord Yahweh, thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto the thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So when you take that mark because you worship the beast, in that time of crisis, you turn into the beast instead of turning to the Lord. After the Lord specifically told you not to take it, you're going to be destroyed, man. Forget about being a robot. You're going to be dead. The Lord is going to deal with you because you chose your God. You decided that your God is Esau Edom. And you didn't trust in the name of Yahweh Shai. Because if you trust in the name of Yahweh Shai, you ain't going to take no mark. When all hell breaks loose, you're going to turn to the Lord, knowing that the Lord can deliver. Simple as that. All right. Revelations 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. And that word there for worship is proskuneo, because like I said, they're not just gonna come out and be like, oh yeah, take this chip, and people are gonna jump to it. They're gonna bring crisis. Yeah, just like if for no reason they just came out and said, yo, hold this max, hold this mask, people would have been like, nah. They had to fabricate a whole crisis to scare the people into doing what they want to do, to manipulate them. And it's going to be the same thing with the mark of the bizzle. They're about to cyber attacks and food shortages and all kind. And at the end of the day, when all's said and done, they're going to provide what would seem to you to be a solution, and that solution is going to require you to receive that mark. And if you're looking to Esau for the solution, you're going to take that mark. But we ain't going to be looking to Esau for not even a bit of a solution. Yeah, not even a piece of solution we're going to be looking at Esau for. We're looking to the Lord, right? Psalms 115:9, like the brother said, O Israel, trust thou in the Lord. He is their help and their shield, right? Good scripture, Psalm 34:22. The Lord redeemeth the soul of his servants, and none of them that trust in him shall be desolate. So in that day, when all these crises come down the pipeline, because they're getting ready to really shake things up. If you think it's been shaken up already and you got people acting crazy now, you wait until they start going into full gear and all hell's breaking loose out here. They're gonna have these people in the palm of their hand. These people are gonna be crying out for in the one of all things, man. And they're going to be looking to Esau. But who the elect are going to be looking towards? They're going to look towards the Heavenly Father, and they're going to say, to hell with your chip. If I need food, the Lord will provide. If I need water, the Lord will provide. And even if I lose my life, the Lord will still provide, because it is written that the dead in Yahweh Shai shall rise first, that Yahweh Shai has the keys to hell and death, that Yahweh Shai liveth forevermore. So even if we got to die, we know we still have life, because the scripture says not even death can separate us from the love of Yahweh Shai. We know that in him we are always more than conquerors. You see? So that's why we ain't gonna trust in Esau Edom and his funkiness, his goofy injections, all right? His goofy chips. But yeah, hopefully, you know, this has been edifying. I just wanted, really, this was the main article I see right here that was just bad to the bone, because you look it up for yourself. Keep searching CBDC and see how they're covering it in the mainstream media. They're not going to mention the nefarious abilities of the CBDC. Let's see if we can finish up on this. Let's see what CNBC has to say about digital currencies. See if they say anything bad.
As a means of payment. 3 centuries later, it's primarily... In 1694, the Bank of England became the first public bank to regularly issue banknotes as an alternative to coins as a means of payment. 3 centuries later, it's primarily tasked with maintaining price stability, much like any other central bank across the world. But these cautious institutions are now buzzing with talk of a revolutionary concept, a form...
They're now buzzing. But I thought the Daily Mail says the Bank of England ain't into it as much as the Treasury. It's bullshit, man. They done been ready to get this thing on. They're ready to bring this thing in. Yeah, Klaus Schwab told you, look, they're ready to use this crisis to bring in the Great Reset. They done been prepared and planning for this thing. Yeah, they just don't want you to know that. They want to make it look like they're being reactionary. They're not being reactionary. This was always the plan. Revelations 12:12.
of money you cannot see. Central bank digital currencies.
When you ask central banks around the world whether they are exploring CBDC, 1 year ago the answer was 80% of them were exploring, and now it's nearly 90%. Last year, 40% were experimenting, and now it's 60%. The vast majority of central banks are exploring CBDC.
The idea of digital money is not new. Many of us use debit and credit cards or payment apps for transactions. But
which is what's going to make the transition a little bit easier, because they've already softened up people to the idea of digital money by way of the debit and the credit. But what people don't understand is that this digital money that they're bringing in ain't the same as the digital money that you're using with your contactless bank card. This is programmable. This is slave money right here. This is slave money.
what would make a central bank digital currency different?
There we go. They're gonna sell it. They're gonna sell it, man.
One of the big financial developments over the last few years has been the rise in popularity of cryptocurrencies, with one in particular, Bitcoin.
See, I told you, man. Didn't I tell you? It doesn't matter what you go on, they're gonna be like, yeah, Bitcoin. Yeah. It's like, oh, stop it.
Standing out. Following Tesla's announcement that it bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin.
I told you, Elon Musk, shill. Jeff Bezos, shill.
In February 2021, the volatile cryptocurrency's price surged to new highs, giving it a theoretical market capitalization that is even larger than the world's 2 largest payments processing companies, Visa and MasterCard. Unlike traditional money, cryptocurrencies are not issued by a central bank, but rather via a decentralized network of computers, typically using blockchain technology. Even Facebook is trying to get in on the act, with the 2019 announcement that it would develop its own digital currency, known at the time as Libra, and now rebadged as Diem.
And so at that point, central bankers started to realize that they were really under some threat. And
see, I told you, they're all because of Bitcoin and Facebook, we're on the threat. So we got to do our own coins. They were always going to do that. That's what it was. It's all smoke and mirrors, man. But it's good, man. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. See, the scripture tells you he takes the wise in their own craftiness. You know, these devils think they're being crafty, man. But it's all going to come to naught anyway.
The question became, if we can't beat them, do we join them?
Investors in Bitcoin.
So does anyone actually believe that Esau didn't already pre-plan these CBDCs? Come on, man.
Bitcoin believed that because there is a theoretical cap on the number of bitcoins that can ever be mined, the cryptocurrency will become increasingly valuable at a time when central banks have been printing more money than ever before to arrest the economic fallout from the pandemic. That's why people sometimes call Bitcoin digital gold. Many central banks are worried that the widespread adoption of these independent cryptocurrencies could weaken their control over the
Selling physical products is not the best way of making money on Amazon in 2021. Now, yes, that model
for the financial system. This could cause financial instability, especially because cryptocurrencies do not have the legal or the regulatory safeguards that central bank money does. So why not issue a digital currency of their own? Currently, regular bank deposits, cash, and cryptocurrencies issued by the private sector, such as Diem and Bitcoin, all have a few features that make them useful. But the hope is that publicly available CBDCs would have all these desirable characteristics. Unlike your savings in a commercial bank, which rely on the bank's promise to fulfill, CBDCs are recognized by law and backed by the power of the central bank, which cannot go bankrupt. For example, if a commercial bank collapses, part of your savings could potentially be wiped out. But this wouldn't be the case for CBDCs, which could be as trusted as cash.
Bro, you see how they're selling these CBDC? They are selling it. They are so, yeah, we didn't really want to do this, but you know, it'd be good for you.
As convenient as a payment
and that's what they're gonna have. Loads of people lose money on Bitcoin, and they're gonna be like, see, we told you. So you better just, you're better off just have some of these CBDCs, man. they're gonna pull the rug on that Bitcoin and see, we told you, stick to the central banks.
Apps yet also benefit from the same blockchain technology which underpins cryptocurrencies. And just like cash, CBDCs could be distributed through commercial banks, avoiding too much disruption to the financial system, or the central bank having to deal directly with many millions of citizens and businesses.
Think of banknotes, which are the closest equivalent to central bank digital currencies that we have today, except that they're on paper, of course. This is money that is issued by the central bank and used daily in retail payments. The central bank sells banknotes to commercial banks, and then the commercial banks distribute banknotes through ATMs to their clients.
This means that everyone could have access to this digital currency, which could bring a lot of benefits. It could make payments faster, allowing for immediate settlements and no processing delays, and it could also make payments cheaper. In the US, the aggregate cost of making retail payments ranges from 0.5% to 0.9% of GDP. Digital currencies would reduce those costs. It also means that more people could have access to electronic payments. Currently, over 1.5 billion adults across the globe don't have access to the financial system, and even in an advanced economy such as the US, more than 6% of Americans don't have a bank account.
Right, so it allows them to bring more people into the banking system to bank the unbanked. Yeah, it calls if all, see. Oh, let me get a script. That's why you can't trust your enemy. I was just thinking about that scripture, man. You can't trust this, Don. This is the book of Sirach. Oh boy, this is the book of Sirach, the 12th chapter and 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." Cause they're gonna try and sell this thing like it's gonna help the people. They're there to free you, and the old system was. You saw what this guy Spike Lee was trying to say. The old system was racist, and this is going to be a more equitable system, and we're not going to do no more of that fractional reserve banking. It's going to be fair, and you got a lot of poor people that don't have access to bank accounts. Now we can give them access through just issuing them this chip, and they will have access to a wallet, and blah 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 blah. But the scripture says, never trust thine enemy, man, because the wickedness that's in his heart is ultimately to oppress, to steal, to rob. And that's what it's all about. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not all been altogether wiped away. Because a lot of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, you think that Esau freed you. You think Esau has your best intention at heart. What you're going to find out is Esau, not only did Esau not free you, but he wants to put you back in the worst captivity that there ever has been in the history of all mankind. And that's what the mark of the beast represents. The mark of the beast represents the most oppressive form of captivity that's ever happened in the history of mankind. Right? The most demonic form of slavery. You'd be better off in 1620 than what Esau's planning to do with these CBDCs and the mark of the beast and all this technology that he's got running around the place. His stuff is mad, crazy. It's beyond slavery, man. It's a whole different level of captivity. But you, Jake, man, don't get that. You don't understand that because you believe in Biden and you believe in all these crackers and you think that these people love you now. You're going to find out, man.
Issuing digital currencies could also make it easier for governments to deliver stimulus checks, or even go one step further and make targeted payments to those deemed most in need. So how soon could
targeted payments to those deemed most in need? That's going to be who are the people that have been most affected by the thing? You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, beginning with the women. So they're going to target you. Oh, yeah, listen, you having problems paying your rent and the inflation, because inflation hurts the poorer classes before it hurts anyone else. Look, come get some of this CBDC right here. Come get this chip, get your chip, get the CBDC so we can give you some of this. Yeah, this is to help you, you know.
Central bank digital currencies become a reality. China is the major economy which is most advanced in its CBDC development. The People's Bank of China has been running tests of its digital currencies.
Oh, that just reminded me. I had an article on that. And the main thing I got out of this article, the traceability. So with the CBDCs, they can see in real time exactly what everybody's using their money for. That's something that they can't do right now. Like if you go to to somebody and you give them a $5 bill, they don't know what's happened. Even within the digital system, it's very difficult for them to track and trace everything that's happening. But with the CBDCs, they can track and trace everything that's happening within the system. So traceability and big data. Unlike fiat currency, a digital currency is by its nature traceable. Much like a radioactive tracer used to establish flow profiles in oil wells, digital currencies can show the movement of money in an economy. In addition, digital currency can carry metadata about itself, building a record of the trail of transactions as it changes hands. Policymakers can learn not only the money flow, but also what types of transactions the currency participates in, from capital investment to consumer spending to commodity speculation. And then the power of programmability. By nature, digital currency is not only traceable but programmable. Yao proposes 4 programmable functions of money. Time contingency, so the money can have an expiry date, so they can build into the money that if you don't use the money within like a week or 2 weeks or within a month, it burns itself. It becomes burned. Sector contingency, loan rate contingency, and economic state contingency. In other words, digital money can be programmed in such a way that it can be targeted to reach specific sectors within a specific time span at a specific rate. So the money, some of the money they give you, it could be like, listen, you need to spend this money on food and only food. And if you don't spend it on food within a week, it will be burned, or within the day, it will be burned. This is the kind of things that they're going to have these people on strings out here. Oh, it's criminal. It's absolutely criminal. Yeah, so it's funny that she mentioned that. Let's jump back over. Criminal behavior.
Since April 2020, with the help of 4 banks in the country, tens of thousands of consumers have already been involved with the pilot, spending 2 billion yuan in over 4 million transactions. For China, it could also be a means of reasserting control over a financial system challenged by the rapid growth of fintech companies.
AntPay and WeChat, I mean, these are the dominant payment technologies in China, and they are in the hands of Alibaba and Tencent. And if Beijing can wrest that back, then I think they will. And the way they've set up the e-yuan is that it will still be effectively very integrated with the commercial banks, but it is effectively a direct challenge to the payment technologies. They are trying to ultimately displace them. The e-yuan is going to have its own digital wallet at the commercial bank, and over time, people will probably just find it more convenient to use that and thereby displacing AntPay, for example.
There may also be a geopolitical consideration for China, providing a mechanism to shift away from using the US dollar.
There's no doubt that Beijing views the US dollar as a strategic advantage that the US has. The problem is that most of the trade, the real world trade, is denominated and invoiced in US dollars, right? And China sees this, and it's very hard for them to sort of push renminbi into the global financial system, the global trading system, but they're trying. But if they had a digital currency, that would be potentially a really fascinating angle. So you can see, if it's got a technological advantage, that perhaps this is a way for people to think about the renminbi in a different way, and perhaps, you know, ultimately start to chip away at the hegemonic status of the dollar.
But it's not just China. The European Central Bank has plans for a digital euro, although it may be a few years before it is available.
We are going to have to address
It ain't gonna be no few years. Okay, they can roll this thing out at any time that they want. They've been researching this for the last decade. They're ready. It's just a matter of the right crisis, man. Christine Lagarde, her bags are loaded.
the issues of anti-money laundering, financing of terrorism, privacy.
I mean, come on, man. Everybody, come on, man. Cash, crime has been flourishing on the cash, man. Stop it.
Of users and all the information, the appropriate technology.
Didn't she get caught up in some kind of scandal where she was handing out money, like millions of dollars, and then she got a slap on the wrist? What's she talking about money laundering for? People are criminals, man, absolute criminals. But they're here to save you from all the scams by putting you in captivity.
Technology that will carry that digital currency, and this is, you know, a project that will probably take us 2, 3, 4 years before it is launched.
This has got people wondering whether issuing a central bank digital currency could interfere with the effectiveness of monetary policy.
Central banks have addressed CBDC so far is really as part of a payment discussion. That's a discussion for monetary policy committees, for the ECB Governing Council, whether they want to use CBDC or not. But it's too early to have that discussion.
But theoretically, if the central bank wanted, they could also pass on negative rates to the holders of central bank digital currencies.
Think of CBDC as being the future of banknotes. Banknotes do not bear interest. And so if you follow that line of reasoning, then CBDC should not bear interest. And if you want CBDC to bear interest, then you're creating something different.
A lot depends on how much people would use CBDCs, and no central bank wants them to completely replace traditional cash, but rather to...
Now you believe that? You believe that no central bank wants CBDCs to completely replace traditional cash? You see how these devils operate? The forked tongue. So the people believe. Who believes that? Someone tell me who believes that.
To complement it.
It's gonna complement. No, it's gonna replace it, man. Goodness.
The risk associated with CBDCs is that in an extreme situation, such as after a financial crash, you could see people withdrawing their deposits from commercial banks and opting to store their money in digital currencies backed by the central bank.
Trouble would be if CBDC would replace bank deposits.
So what did I say earlier in the video? Once hyperinflation happens and they have a CBDC already made and in place, people are gonna, and they say you can transfer your money. So let's say you got $100, you can convert that $100 into 100 of whatever digital dollars. People are gonna be doing that, man. They're gonna be doing that. They're gonna be like, look, man, if I hold on to this cash is inflating. So I might as well get me some of the CBDC. They know this, man. Like, come on, we're not stupid, man. We know exactly. Come on, man. Esau, like, come on. Like, come on.
In a large amount, because then what happens is that savers could shift their saving from bank account to CBDC.
That's exactly what they want. That's exactly what's gonna happen. This is, come on, man. Listen, didn't I say that earlier in the video? That it's they're pretending they don't want that to happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna make it where people, they want to have these CBDCs. They don't want to have the cash, so they're going to inflate it. They've already set the groundwork by printing the thing to infinity. Goodness gracious. Let's get revelation. This devil is ready to come down on these people, man. Just come out and tell the people straight. You're about to go in raw. No lube. Like, playing all these damn games, man. But you see, that's why you have to have a spiritual mind and be able to use logic and critical thinking to really break down this fork-tongued devil, man. This devil's getting ready to come down on the people, man. He's about to hit them with when that cyber attack, hyperinflation, food shortage. He gonna have these people messed up, man, and they're gonna be lining up for them chips, man. They're gonna take 5 chips if they need to. They're gonna take 20 chips. They're gonna take a chip in each butt cheek, man. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So Christine Lagarde is sitting there talking about 4 or 5 years from. Listen, these devils, man, you don't know what these devils could be doing within the next week, within the next month. They've got crises lined up to drop on these people, man, and they're gonna have these people so confused that they're just gonna give it all up, 100%. But we know when these things happen, we know what time it is. We know why this devil is moving how he's moving. It's not going to be a surprise to us. He's going to come with that crisis, order out of chaos. He believes in order out of chaos. So he's going to bring the chaos. And this whatever it is, this thing that he released, that was just the beginning. It's going to be a lot more coming down the pipeline. Best believe it. And it's going to have people running to them for CBDC money and rationing and food and all that kind of stuff. And they're going to have to take that chisip. That's why they got all these people out there pushing tattoos on them. Because once you push tattoos on people, like, you're used to the needles. That's why so many people are running out and getting the Mac. It used to be people were scared of needles. The majority of people ain't scared of needles no more because they all got tattoos and they all got, now they got the vaccine. So the next step is you might as well take the chip because it's a needle too. And, that's how it's going to be. It's going to be criminal, man. Okay. But anyway, I thought we just go through that. Like, I don't want to go on for too long. Like, keep your eye out, man. Keep your eye out on what's going on every level. I know the weather, I know the chariots, I know the World War III and all these different things. But even in the financial markets and that, and what's happening in the cryptocurrency market and with the money and all that, these are all areas that ultimately matter. Esau is going to make moves on every level. All right. Okay. So, yeah, man. How long's it going? Hour and a half? Lord willing, this has been edifying, and you brothers have a greater understanding of the agenda. So that now when you watch the news, you might catch them talking about the CBD and all that. You know exactly what they're talking about and what their agenda is. And you'll see exactly what I see. They're always going to use Bitcoin as the reaction, the reason why they're doing what they're doing and all this garbage. And, they're going to pump Bitcoin and dump it and all that kind of bullshit. So be safe out there. So anyway, yeah. So with that, don't take the mark of the thing. All praise unto Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostle elders, a great millstone. And shalom to all you Arkim that's teaching, and shalom to all you Arkim and Arkwaf that's studying and learning and following the faith of Yahweh Shai. We almost out of here. Okay, the signs are there, so just hold on tight. Okay, this bitch is going down and we going up. Shalom, shalom.